We will now demonstrate the cafe latte attack. The setup is that we have a client which has previously connected to our access point test1. Meanwhile, test1 is offline. So we can imagine that this client has moved somewhere very far away from test1, but the client has the WEP key. So we will demonstrate that we will be able to retrieve the WEP key using this attack, even though the access point is not around. We will try with two ways. One is using air replay ng and the -6 option, and the other is airbase ng with the -L option. The difficulty with the air replay ng option is that it requires an ARP request to replay, but without the access point, it's a bit hard to get hold of a valid ARP request for this network, since a client needs to be associated with the access point and then only it sends an ARP request. Airbase ng, on the other hand, creates a fake access point, so a fake test1 access point. So it accepts association request from the client, and after which the client then sends the ARP request, which can be used. And furthermore, Airbase ng has built-in support for the cafe latte attack. So not only would our network card be acting as a fake access point, it will also then initiate the cafe latte attack with the ARP request. So that's something that we will see as we look at the demonstration now. Let's take a look at the cafe latte attack. And first, we check the IW config to see we have WLAN 0 and WLAN 1, two different network interface cards. We try using the air replay ng version of the cafe latte attack. This is with air replay -6. We need to have the MAC address, and so we take a look at IW-def WLAN 0 info to get the MAC address of our network card, copy it and paste it. The air replay ng version of the cafe latte attack with this -6 flag is going to be sending ARP requests using this MAC address 5683967968F6. The problem is that the air replay ng version of the cafe latte attack is just sending ARP requests, and it's not associating with the access point since the access point is not around. So we see that it's unable to get anywhere. We need to have a valid ARP request that we can capture and then modify it to replay it. One way we can do that is using the airbase ng version of the cafe latte attack. Airbase ng is a member of the aircrack ng suite of tools, and what it will do is set up an access point, and it will call itself test1, as we see -e test1 here. Put that on channel 1, so -c1, and a -L is for the cafe latte attack. We use -W1 to be using WEP for this fake access point, and the reason for doing this is that now the isolated client has an access point it thinks is test1, and it will try to associate. After that, then it would send a gratuitous ARP request. That is what the cafe latte attack can use to replay. And we don't have to separately run air replay ng, because with this airbase ng command, it knows what we're trying to do since we put -L, and it will conveniently for us automatically start the cafe latte attack. So we see this client 9091 E107 2171 associated with our fake access point because our airbase ng started advertising itself as test1. So we can see the arrow dump output where there are frames that are showing that there is traffic on test1. This is our fake access point. And so all this traffic is from the client, the isolated client that now has what it thinks is test 1. And finally, now we see that the Cafe Latte attack has started here, and we see that the rate of the frames is increasing very rapidly. It's also increasing 3 times faster than in real life because we speeded up the video. And in fact, we should have more than enough for PTW, so we should have started aircrack NG as well, which we will do now. And we see that this is just based on those ARP requests and the rebroadcast of the ARP request. We see that the key has been recovered successfully.